Hello, hello. Hi. How is everyone? Hi. Oh, it feels like a while since I did an ASMR stream. ASMR stream. And we're going to try to do something a little bit spooky. We're going to be reading some Edgar Allan Poe. We're going to read The Raven. And I'm going to read my updated lore, which I rewrote in sort of the style, the 2-4-5 rhyming scheme. I think it's okay. I did my best on it. My friend said it sounded pretty good, so I'm gonna see about reading that as well. And then any suggestions anyone has in the chat, I can also give a go at reading. So let's set a cozy vibe first. Let's light the fireplace. I think there's a storm rolling in outside. There we go. And I want you to get comfortable, to get cozy. That means you. Relax, 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 relax. Get cozy, get cozy. And I just have to get the Raven up on my browser so I can actually read it for you. Scabbards, thank you for the lurk. I hope you stay cozy. I hope you enjoy the reading. Will I just get straight into it? So this is The Raven by Edgar Allan Poe. It's one of my favorite poems, I think. If we had goths and emos when I was in high school, I probably would have been one of them. I kind of love that it's sort of an unspeakable terror of the. It's not like there's an actual monster or a beast stalking a guy. It's just this unwavering horror in the background of this thing beyond your understanding, represented by the Raven. Yeah, I'll just start reading then. Yeah, let me clear my throat first. Okay. I'm doing the Edgar Allan Poe Raven any %, so if I mess up, then I have to go and start from the very start again. I am just kidding, it's actually a pretty long poem, so if I mess up, I'm just gonna kind of fumble through it. I don't know whether I should do like whisper or low voice. I'm gonna try it with low voice, and people can watch, or people can say in chat, or people can see the VOD and tell me which they preferred afterwards, and I'll see about doing it that way going forward. Once upon a midnight dreary, while I pondered, weak and weary, over many a quaint and curious volume of forgotten lore, while I nodded, nearly napping, suddenly there came a tapping, as of someone gently rapping on my chamber door. "'Tis some visitor," I muttered, tapping at my chamber door. Only this, and nothing more. Distinctly I remember, it was in the bleak December, and each separate dying ember wrought its ghost upon the floor. Eagerly I wished the morrow, vainly I had sought to borrow from the book succor of sorrow, sorrow for the lost Lenore, for the rare and radiant maiden whom angels named Lenore, nameless here for evermore. And the silken, sad, uncertain rustling of each purple curtain thrilled me, filled me with fantastic terrors never felt before, so that now, So still the beating of my heart, I stood repeating, "'Tis some visitor, entreating entrance at my chamber door. Some late visitor, entreating entrance at my chamber door. This it is, and nothing more." Presently my soul grew stronger, hesitant that no longer. "Sir," said I, "or madam, truly your forgiveness I implore. But the fact is I was napping, and so gently you came rapping, and so faintly you came tapping, tapping on my chamber door, that I scarce was sure I heard you. Here I opened wide the door. Darkness there, and nothing more." Deep into that darkness peering, long I stood there wondering, fearing, doubting, dreaming dreams no mortal ever dared to dream before. But the silence wasn't broken, and the stillness gave no token, and the only word there spoken was the whispered word, "Lenore." This I whispered, and an echo murmured back the word, "Lenore." Meekly this, and nothing more. Back into the chamber turning, all my soul within me burning, soon again I heard the tapping, somewhat louder than before. "Surely," said I, "surely that is something at my window lattice. Let me see, then, what threat is, and this mystery explore. Let my heart be still a moment, and this mystery explore. 'Tis the wind, and nothing more." Open here I flung the shutters, when with many a flirt and flutter, in there stepped a stately raven, of the saintly days of yore. Not the least obstinance made he, not a minute stopped or stayed he, but with mien of lord or lady, perched above my chamber door. Perched upon the bust of Pallas, just above my chamber door. Perched and sat, and nothing more. Then this ebony bird beguiling my sad face fancy into smiling, by the grave and stern decorum of the countenance it wore, "Though thy crest be short and shaven, thou," I said, "art sure no craven." Ghastly grim and ancient raven wandering from the nightly shore. Tell me what thy lordly name is on the night's Plutonian shore." Quoth the raven, "Nevermore." Much I marvelled this ungainly fowl to hear discourse so plainly, though its answer little meaning, little relevancy bore, for we cannot help agreeing that no living human being ever yet was blessed with seeing a bird above its chamber door. Bird or beast upon the sculpture, bust above his chamber door, with such a name as Nevermore. But the raven, sitting lonely on the placid bust, spoke only that one word, as if his soul in that one word he did outpour. Nothing further than he uttered, not a feather than he fluttered, till I scarcely more than muttered, "Other friends have flown before. On the morrow he will leave me, as my hopes have flown before." Then this bird said, "Nevermore." Startled at the stillness broken by reply so aptly spoken, "Doubtless," said I, "what it utter is its only stock and store, caught from some unhappy master, whom unmerciful disaster followed fast and followed faster, till his song one burden bore. Tell the dirge of his hope that melancholy burden bore, of never, nevermore." But the raven still beguiling my sad fancy into smiling, straight I wheeled a cushioned seat in front of bird and bust and door. Then upon the velvet sinking, I betook myself to linking fancy unto fancy, thinking what this ominous bird of yore, what this grim, ungainly, ghastly, gaunt and ominous bird of yore meant in croaking nevermore. This I sat engaged in guessing, but no syllable expressing, to the fowl whose fray eyes now burned into my bosom core. This and more I sat divining, with my head at ease reclining on the cushioned velvet lining that the lamplight gloated yore, but whose velvet violet lining with the lamplight gloating o'er she shall press nevermore. Then methought the air grew denser, perfumed from an unseen censer, swung by seraphim whose footfalls tinkled on the tufted floor. Wretch, I cried, thy God had lent thee, by the angels he had sent thee, respite, and nepenthe from thy memories of Lenore. Quaff, oh quaff, this kind Neptune, and forgot this lost Lenore. Quoth the raven, nevermore. Prophet, said I, thing of evil, prophet still, if bird or devil, whether temper sent or whether tempest tossed thee here ashore, desolate yet all undaunted, on the desert land enchanted, on this home by horror haunted, tell me truly, I implore, is there balm and gilded? Tell me, I implore. Quoth the raven, nevermore. Prophet, said I, thing of evil, prophet still, if bird or devil, by the heaven that bents above us, by that God we both adore, tell the soul with sorrow laden, within the distant Aden, it shall clasp a sainted maiden, whom the angels named Lenore, clasp a rare and radiant maiden, whom the angels named Lenore. Quoth the raven, nevermore. Be that word our sign in parting, bird or fiend, I shrieked upstarting. Get thee back into the tempest, and the night's Plutonian shore. Leave no black plume as a token of that lie thy soul hath spoken. Leave my loneliness unbroken, quit the bust above my door. Take thy beak from out my heart, and take thy form from off my door. Quoth the raven, nevermore. And the raven, never flitting, still is sitting, and the pallid bust of Pallas just above my chamber door, and his eyes have all the seething of a demon that is dreaming, and the lamplight o'er him streaming throws his shadow to the floor, and my soul from out the shadow that lies floating on the floor shall be lifted nevermore. Yeah, there we go. Not a perfect reading, but that's not bad for not having a chance to practice it beforehand. I think I'd really like to do that again sometime. And I do like reading stuff. And as my title suggests, I'm also taking suggestions. So if you are watching the VOD afterwards and you want to tell me how you think I did, or if there was anything I should change, I should definitely practice more first. That's for sure. But isn't that true of everything? Quoth the rainbird, nevermore. Okay. Yeah. Do I have anyone on board, or shall I just read the next thing I have ready? Let's go for my lore for a bit. Let's not give my voice any chance to rest. So I kind of wrote this in the same style as the Raven, or at least I tried to. Don't don't think it is the best, and my lore has like 4 little chapters that I'm working on, so it's just the first one, but it's the same rhyming scheme. So I'm gonna read that, and then we can do a couple of triggers. Mostly word repetition today, I think. We'll take it easy. Okay. So, long forgotten, lost to ages, lie the tale the tongue engages, whispered once through lips of sages, now mere echoes on the air. Phantom murmurs faint and fleeting, though the mists of memory meeting, woven soft with sorrow's greeting, magic born of faint despair. Thus do legends live and languish, fragile things beyond repair. In a realm of fog once molded, when the dawn and dusk were folded, lived a being, name beholded only by the eldest Fae. Scarce remembered, scarcely spoken, by the tongues of men now broken, save in rhymes the Shanshi had woven, tales now drifting far away. Only whispers keep him living, those in dreams and those who pray. Hid on Bostia in Gra Lesh Negra, Air Arwan. The rain once fell in love with the moon, so whispers dream in soft refrain. Ah, but the heart's affair was fleeting, long since ended, long since beating. He, the rainbird, lost and bleeding, faded neath the weeping sky. Gone from mortal kin and hearing, fled from warmth and lights appearing, bound to silence, darkness nearing, where the grizzle woods now lie, where he vanished years uncounted, where the stone in shadow cry. Though through the boughs of blackest timber, where the stars grow faint and limber, stood a fort decayed, dismembered, time's cruel hand had rent it so. Though its doors both warped and weeping, down where echoes go a-creeping, he descended, secrets keeping, to the cold and far below. There a dungeon lay in slumber, under frost's eternal glow. Long abandoned by its master, once a lich whose dark disaster left behind a husk and plaster of despair and brittle bone. There he dwelt in gloom unending, down the madness needs befriending, midst old relics still pretending life was his, though turned to stone. Only whispers, bone, and phylactery kept him not alone. Centuries he lingered brooding on the fate he was eluding, fed on instant noodle stewing in his solitary keep. By his side a jar unholy, glimmer faintly, pale and lowly, housing Elizabeth, the sole grumpy spawn he chose to keep. Though she spoke not, yet she listened, company for those who weep. So he waits, the rainbird sighing, where the lich's bones lie dying, far from moonlight's silver crying, far from dawn's forgiving ray. Should you wonder where he lingers, hush your breath and still your fingers, for his tale through mist still clings, whispers softly, lost away. Thus the rainbird dreams forever, dark beneath the earth's decay. Thank you, thank you, thank you very much. Thank you. I'll take clappers. Okay. So now we'll get a little bit more whispery, and we'll do a couple of triggers. So I have a trigger list up on screen. If you see anything you'd like me to do, I would be happy to do so. It's going to be a relatively short stream, tonight. I just wanted to pop on for a little while because I haven't done an ASMR stream for a little bit, and I kind of want to keep my schedule and keep things rolling, keep things going. And the more practice I can get at streaming and being online and performing, I think the better. I do really enjoy reading, so that might be a more regular thing I'll try. I didn't even mess up that many times. There were just a few little things. Okay. So let's do some word repetition. Word repetition. Word repetition. Does anyone have a word that they would like me to repeat? A word they'd like me to repeat? Anything at all? I just read The Raven at the start of the stream, so maybe I can pick out a few interesting words soul grew stronger, hesitating, then no longer. Sir, I said, or madam, truly your forgiveness I implore. But the fact is I was napping, and so gently you came rapping, and so faintly you came tapping, tapping at my chamber door, chamber door, chamber door. That scarce was sure I heard you. Here I opened wide the door. Darkness there, and nothing more, nothing, nothing. Deep into the darkness peering, long I stood there, wondering, peering, doubting, dreaming dreams no mortal ever dared to dream before, dream before, dream before, dream. But the silence was unbroken, and the stillness gave no token, and the only word there spoken was the whispering Lenore. This I whispered, and an echo murmured back the word Lenore, Lenore, Lenore. Merely this, and nothing more. Back into the chamber turning, all my soul within me burning. Soon again I hear a tapping, somewhat louder than before, than before. Surely, said I, surely that is something at my window lattice. Let me see then what threat is, and this mystery explore. Let my heart be still a moment, and this mystery explore, explore, explore. 'Tis the wind, and nothing more. Open here I flung the shutter, when with many a flirt and flutter, in there separate a stately raven of the saintly days of yore, of yore. Not the least obstinance made he, not a minute stopped or stayed he, but with mine of lord or lady perched above my chamber door, chamber door, perched upon the bust of Pallas just above the chamber door, perched and sat, and nothing more, nothing more, nothing more. Then the ebony bird beguiling my sad fancy into smiling, by the grave and stern decorum of the continents it wore. Though thy crest be short and shaven, thou, I said, art sure no craven, ghastly grim and ancient raving, wandering the nightly shore. Tell me what thy lordly name is, on the night's Plutonian shore. Quoth the raven, nevermore, nevermore, nevermore. Much I marveled this ungainly fowl to hear discourse so plainly, though its answer little meaning, little relevance more. For we cannot help agreeing that no living human being ever yet was blessed with seeing a bird above his chamber door, door, door. Bird or beast upon the sculpted bust above his chamber door, with such a name as nevermore. But the raven, sitting lonely on the placid bust, spoke only that one word, as if his soul that one word he did outpour. master tell his song only burden more, till the dirges of his hopes that melancholy burden more, of never, nevermore, nevermore. But the raven still beguiling my sad but the raven still beguiling my sad fancy into smiling. Straight I wheeled a cushion straight in front of bird and bust and door. Then upon the velvet sinking, I took myself to linking fancy unto fancy, thinking that this ominous bird of yore, what this grim, ungainly, ghastly, gaunt, and ominous bird of yore meant in croaking nevermore. This I sat engaged in guessing, but no syllable expressing to the fowl whose afraid eyes now burned into my bosom core. This and more I sat divining, with my head at ease reclining on the cushioned velvet lining that the lamplight gloated o'er. Wash those velvet lining with the lampshade gloating o'er. She shall pass and never more. Then methought the air grew denser, perfumed from an unseen censer, swung by seraphim, whose footfalls tinkled on the tufted floor. Wretch, I cried, thy God hath led thee, by the angels he hath sent thee, respite, respite, and nepenthe from thy memories of Lenore. Quaff, oh quaff, this kind nepenthe, and forgot its lost Lenore. Quoth the raven, nevermore. Prophet, said I, thing of evil, prophet still, if bird or devil, whether temper sent, or whether tempest tossed thee here ashore, ashore, ashore. Desolate, yet all undaunted, on this desert land enchanted, on this home by horror haunted, tell me truly, I implore, is there balm in Gilead? Tell me, I implore. Quoth the raven, nevermore. Prophet, said I, thing of evil, prophet still, if bird or devil, by that heaven that bends above us, by the God we both adore, tell this soul with sorrow laden, if within the distance aiden it shall clasp a sainted maiden, whose the angels named Lenore, clasp a rare and radiant maiden, whom the angels named Lenore. Quoth the raven, nevermore, nevermore, nevermore. Be that word our sign in parting, bird or strewn through this shadow on the floor, and my soul from out the shadow lies floating on the floor, shall be lifted, nevermore, nevermore, nevermore. So I kind of started, I read it once in a kind of quiet voice, and then I was doing word repetition, and I just sort of started word repetitioning into the whole poem again. So I've done the Raven twice now. That was not the original plan. Okay, I can do a couple of triggers if anyone would like. I actually feel a little out of breath after doing that, to be honest. So I might do a couple of dice triggers or a couple of tapas just while I get my breath back. I'll do a couple of wood tapas. I'm actually a little lightheaded after that. And I just spilled my dice everywhere, but we won't worry about that right now. high as you can. Crunch them together. Push them up towards your head as far as you can without hurting yourself in as much as you feel comfortable. And let them go. Relax, relax, relax. Feel the tension going. Relax. Okay, now you're going to relax your hands. still